We are back. This is the office, summer house, my sister-in-law's house, coming off one of the last videos of the cable on the neighbour's wall. There was a lot of, no, you cannot do this, and a few, yeah, can't see the problem, not an issue. Like I said, I got the permission off the neighbour to do it. They said it's absolutely fine. They already have their cables running for the Sky and the internet all on this side of the property line. So, you know, like if people said if they come to sell a house and then things arise where the new tenants, owners of the house are not happy with the cabling, like I said before, I did it in the mortar, so you can pull it off and redo it. A lot of people said do continuity wire, but the height-wise for it realistically isn't the best. I took of judgment that that was the best way, and that's the way it is. It can be moved. There's enough slack on it. If we wanted to do it the other way, it's possible. But I wanted to start off with the video saying a few things. This is, some people will skip, some people I don't. It is what it is. I need to get it out there. I had my very first panic attack of 5 years this morning, to do with a friend of mine, ever since 7 years ago after my friend took his own life, and I found him and I had to deal with the whole thing over a few years sort of thing, thinking I was on the mend of this, that and the other, and out of nowhere, bang! I've lived with crippling anxiety for the past 7 years about people I love or care about taking their own lives, including my family members, close friends, whatever. It has never left me. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is stupid. I get annoyed with myself that this happens, and I thought I was over it. Clearly not. And all this was over a stupid thing as well. It's not even important. But to make everyone aware and out there of, you now have no idea what people actually deal with and live with. So be nice, be kind, check on your loved ones, tell people you love them, ask everyone if they're okay. Do all the nice things that we all should do to each other on a daily basis, because I try and do it as much as I can over the years, I really do. It even sneaks up on me where from the outside, I'm fit and healthy again, I'm going to the gym, work's great, life's great, kids are great, other half's great. There's nothing to moan about in my life. Everything is absolutely amazing. For the first time in a very long time, there's nothing to moan about. I don't worry about things. And then out of nowhere, bang, let's have a panic attack. Let's cry uncontrollably. But so I've just done an Instagram story if you've seen it, but I'm just putting it out there like, trying to normalize it a little bit. You don't know what people are going through. Check on your friends, make sure everyone's okay. Honky dory, let's get on with this. Sorry about that, but I had to say it in case someone else was going through the same thing that I am. It's crap, it really is. Speak to people, speak to your loved ones, tell them how you feel. And I already feel 100% better from this morning. It was just, I don't know, moment of weakness, or it crept up on me, which sucked. Okay, let's crack on. Right, now we've got that over and done with. Apologies, but I get like this sometimes. Socket height, because this is an office, I know that they're undecided. She thinks desk is going here. But I know if she's anything like her sister, which is my other half, that things will get changed around 6 times before they find a place. So ideally with that, she says the desk is going here. I'm going to do 2 underneath and then 1 worktop height. But I'm also going to duplicate that over here because I know what that's going to be like. We're doing a TV socket on the wall behind you guys. There's also going to be 1 down here. So my armour cable is down there. I'm going to drill a hole. I've just got the chippies and a fantastic job of this. So I can't drill anything that side. It's going to be this side. It's going to be the armour cable coming up. Yes, it's dangerously close to the surface, but at the same point, I am going to be putting a socket here as well to cover the zones. For the armour coming up, he's going to be putting me a piece of CLS here and here to go across. Get a measurement of this. I can then multi-tool this bit out. We're going to pull the armour out. We're going to gland it into the back of a whisker box up. And then I'm going to bush and couple that to the back of the board, push the whisker box back into the wall, and then bolt obviously the fuse board to the wall itself. So it's still accessible, it can be unbolted and pulled through. And also we're going to be putting a data point up here for a access point. So I need to double check which ones I can buy that don't require mains powered. And finally, lighting wise, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 JCC skylights, which top of my head, I think they're 11 watt each, which is plenty for this room because you're going to have a massive double door, a window, and then running to the outside. You've got the overhang, which isn't having insulation in this, so we're looking at maybe 3 to 4 downlights. But with this, so they can turn it on and off from the inside to have it a bit of a mood lighting, garden lighting, whatever. This is going to be on a kinetic switch, on a paddle switch on the inside of the house, so they can turn it on and off from the kitchen window. But then the rest of the lights in here will be on a light switch here. That's the plan. Let's get the laser out. Let's start cutting some holes. I'm just going to do new build regs off here with the laser. We can set the laser up in a minute, whiz that around, get some delicious holes drilled in, There's rock wool going in the walls here. In the ceiling there is Celotex going in. I've had a chat with the guy this morning. He's bringing the Celotex, I think so it's a cold roof system, don't quote me on that. So I'm going to run my cables to the top. I've got 40 mil to run cables at the top, and then he's got 80 mils worth of Celotex in the bottom. I'm going to clip the cables down, and this is hence why we're not doing downlights, because the amount we've done over the years, we breach a hole in the Celotex, which ruins the cold roof or the warm roof or whatever the hell it's called for the customer, because we've put downlights in. But the JCC Sky Disc will not only look nice, be super bright, but we'll keep the ceiling intact and the insulation. Alrighty then. Look at this. Elmo. Hello. That's not a dog, that's a cat. You okay, dude?
Yeah.
What's up? You coming in?
I'm just going inside here.
Oh, okay. Right, so now we've been completely over the top and used the laser to do fabulous holes all the way around. Equally, this video could be attached to the customer if it wasn't related to me. House. Equally on the fuse board, if we wanted to do a label, all socket holes are drilled at 450 through laser throughout the base of the property. You can do a label on the inside of the board, you can put all the information, whatever, on the certificate. Just saying, it's stuff you can add to each job and tick it off. Now, I was going to tidy up, but we're going to get all the holes cut on the inside, so we're going to find the centre first for the access point. So 3 meters 80 halved is, so I'm only doing this exact because if we're doing the 4 lights, then this one's going to sit nicely as almost a feature as part of the lighting plan. Does that make sense? Just you want it to look nice. You want it to look nice. You want it to match. You want it to have symmetrical stuff. And then from now it's just a guesstimate thing of how you think it would look. So if it's 3 meters 80, if I turn around, we look at the joist span and we go, right, my first light, if we stick it on this third joist here, let's say 107. So I'll just put an X on that. And we'll go across and we'll do 107 on here, which is give or take there. We'll have a spread of light here and a spread of light here, which is more than enough to cover that side. And I think that's worked out quite well, actually. I've done this before. Or if you go, actually, no, we need to kick it back a bit, you match it both ways, because there's obviously 4 going in here. Get it as a square, it's not a square room, it's a rectangular room, but there's no set measurement. Kitchens, which like we said before, we do sort of 750, 800 off the wall to the worktop height to cover the wall cabs. It's not chucking light on top of that, but there's no set thing, it's just what you think and perceive would look the best to the eye. So I'm gonna go to this beam, to that beam, and the same thing obviously if we're coming across here. If I sit this at, let's say 550, and we duplicate that over here at 550, which is there. You got one there, one there. If you were to do the measurement between, that's 110. I think that's a good spread. You could chuck it in another 5 and do 600 by 600, which for this, I think 550 is fine. So all I'm gonna do with the beams, because of the insulation that's going in, I'm gonna do a hole, not all the way, because we only need to go to after the last feed, and then a separate feed going out. But what we're going to do first is take the power across to the switch, which I've already drilled the holes. We just need to start doing the beams. Nick, you're waffling. Just get on with it. So we can only try and get away with doing 1 hole instead of 2. Fuse board is going to come up. We're going to run the light feed on this back one, and then it's with these ones that we're going to play with. So I've got to go over there for the down lights, but equally I've got to come in here for the internal lights, and we've got to come here to drop the light switch down to our 120, which is there. So it makes sense for me to just drill a nice lovely line all the way across to what essentially would be our final beam, which is there. But for the outside lights, depending if the schematics, we might have to just drill one more. It means we can do all the lighting stuff together within one set of runs rather than drilling this side and that side. The least amount of cutting, the better. obviously for strength of the roof, which by the looks of this is massively overkill, but that's what the guy said. He said I'd rather go over the top so it's solid and last. All right, to get my laser out, I'm gonna do 3 inches. So the insulation here that he told me is 80 mil, and then for using, I will put a smaller bit in. So as long as if I go 90 mil, and that'll cover me for the spade. This just confirmed to me where Amazon, I'm going to be ordering a brand new Bosch spade bit. I love them. They're absolutely fantastic for the price. I think it's the whole pack. You pay around 20 quid, and we used to buy one per rewire. Obviously I've not done for a while, but just to put in this set and keep the set together. It's the first time I've managed to actually collect all the blades after a job. But other than the big ones, the one I use regularly, obviously I've hit stuff over the past. It's on its last legs. Adam just rang me, and I have currently 40 minutes to leave here to go back to my house to go karting, because uni like taking us go karting, which I've completely forgotten about until like literally 4 days ago. So let's get wriggle on. Sure. And also I forgot, but there's an outside socket to go on. So I've severely run out of time. The lights are in and round, as you can see, but I will be back here one evening this week to carry on. So we'll carry on with the video. And if you haven't already, drop a like. Fabulous. See you soon. Bye. Right, I'm back. It is Saturday. It is 4 days later. I can't remember. Problem is, I've been to Elex, hence the new clobber. This is from Komodo Workwear, which have really stepped up their game with some certain stuff. And I nearly got some of their trousers as well. The problem is, I went to the second day of the show and they completely and utterly sold out of all the larger gentleman sizes. So even though I have lost a considerable amount of weight, the ones that they had there just didn't fit me. So they gave me this jacket for free, just putting it out there. They said, give it a go, give it a try. And I tell you what, no word of a lie, it is absolutely delicious. And I'm not making this up. I'm not telling you like, oh, go and spend loads of money. If I'm lying, it genuinely is. It's like double fleece lined. There's an air gap. I put it on this morning to walk the dog. If I saw it on the side, I thought, hoodie, Velocity hoodie or coat, I'll try the coat. Fabulous. And I've only just wore this now because I'm now getting hot. I'm going to take it off, but it's very nice. So this is an XL on me. Yeah, mint. And the second thing is the work trousers. So I went to Elex for the reason of buying some trousers because all my other ones physically don't fit me. Oh, Hallie's here, sweeping. But the Snickers ones that I got, I needed some for the time being, and I'll happily try the Komodo ones when they come out. These are the very first workwear trousers where the knee pads are integrated, that they're physically built in. I thought, why not? I'll give it a go, 120 quid. Ones that actually fit me and aren't flappy. It doesn't like I'm wearing my dad's trousers. So, anyway, we'll skip past that. The first thing I noticed this morning was driving. Because normally when you drive and your knees are bent in your van, you can push your knee pads down and you can sit comfortably. With these, you physically can't because they're meant to be measured and designed that these are the exact spot where you need them for the pressure and all that sort of stuff. But it was quite annoying because I constantly kept locking and unlocking the van with my knee against the door. Did get a few other things, screwdriver set, new Halfson's pencil, a new knife, and some other bits and bobs we'll see later in the videos. But we've got the external cat cable to go put in for the access point. What I figured out from obviously a couple of days of not being here is I need to get a PoE injector, the router end, to shoot down to give this power and get an access point that works just off PoE, that works just off PoE on the ceiling. If you don't know what that means, it means the access point will be powered through the cat cable, and some of the pairs will have a voltage in it, 12 volt, I don't actually know what it is, from a little box. So when it plugs into the router, it'll plug into a little injector that's then plugged into the sockets, shoot a voltage up the cat cable as well to give this power and everything, because all the ones I've ever fitted in the past all take 240, so they have a big brick adapter. You have to plug into the wall and then you put it on the ceiling, so we don't want that here. Cool, we've got that cleared. Let's get that running. So another fabulous thing I did, because I was going to Elex and it is rife for vans being broken into. Not overnight, physically in the day, apparently 6 people's cars, windows were smashed and broken into. So always in preparation, I go and empty my van. But by emptying the van, I have not been back yet and filled the van up. So I'm on No hand tools, only what's in the pockets of my work trousers. We've got the cable. I've ended up going and getting my CT1 tape measure I got given from the kitchen drawer. And yeah, that's about it. So, and a pair of steps. So no drill bits, no nothing. It's just what I've had to find in the van vault to drill all these holes. You're doing a good job, Hallie. Well done. You good job. I know I've got a tape measure, but because I decided to leave everything I physically love and own in the unit, and I did such a good job of getting all these lasers leveled across, I haven't got the laser with me. So I need to do a nice tiny little pilot hole for the internet. So. You got to film me, okay? You got it? Don't drop it. We've got a lovely, lovely camera woman now. Child. I know I could use a stapler, but I really don't want to damage the cat cable, so I was going to put some clips in, pull the excess. I'll run it back to the house at some point, but I just need to get this in, like I said. In 2 days, the guys come in, insulating everything, cladding everything, drop that one. So let's get these in, let's get it clipped down out of the way. And trying to keep it completely away from all the power. And that down here, Hallie wanted to have a go with the hammer, so I held the clips in place, and all she did was just smash me in the thumb 3 times. So that's cool. So she's been told to go and stand outside with the chickens. That's all in. So the next thing is now, there is an outside socket. You can see that little hole just there. To be honest with you, I can't remember what I've said. I was going to just run it off the sockets here, but the fact I'm going to put a bigger board in here, I'm probably going to put a 6-way in. We're going to run it off its own circuits if it trips, and then the same thing with the lighting for the outside stuff. Is I was just going to come straight off here because there's a permanent feed there. But what I'm going to do is I'm trying to find somewhere that I can put the receiver. And normally I would just put it in the fuse box, which I still might do. But everyone said, I think the last time we did it, I'm going to job with Mitch. Everyone said, oh, all you're doing is creating a Faraday cage. I remember the saying from college. Could I tell you what that is? Absolutely not. The only thing I could think of is it forms a current thing, signal, whatever, or it interferes with the signal, but it worked all the other times. I just don't want, ideally I could just put another surface mount, I could just put another fast fix pattress within the wall with a blank plate and put it behind, but I don't really want more blank or more plates than needed or necessary. But what I am going to do in case they ever want it to be off an internal switch in the future and get rid of it, is I think I am just going to put the receiver up here. I'm going to run a brand new feed down. I'm going to bring a feed in and out, but not cut it, and obviously label it up as outside lights. So you will have a permanent feed in and a permanent feed out in the future. If you wanted to just snip it and split it and just put a switch in between it, then you can if they don't want the receiver. So I'm trying to put the infrastructure in, so if they, in 10 years time, let's say this gets changed around in 5 years to a kid's playroom and they want to get rid of the wireless switching or they lose it or whatever, they can just go, right, Nick, you just snip that and put a double switch in. Yes. Stop talking, sorry, I have had a rough couple of days and I'm just... So at any point, which is just the two here, where the outside socket, because I wanted to run it in exactly the same runs, no need to put anything else. The cable is then protected with zones of the other cables. But I have written outside SK, outside socket, so as and when I cut the holes out for the pattresses to go in, then I know, let's say that one's pulled up out of the way, I don't start trying to yank this one to get enough length to snip it to make off a socket. So the measurements, I really wish I recorded it because I actually lost the plot. I couldn't hold the tape measure on the end of here, so I ended up smashing a screwdriver in the, anyway. 4 across the front would look nice. The roof overhangs the same distance each edge, so we've gone second one in, both ends, measured that between, divided by 3 to get our equal spacing, so 45, so it's 11 inches. We've got 45-inch gaps to 11-inch, so that'd be nice. So 4 on the outside, some pencil marks in the ceiling so I can see. So the plan is, because we've got the loop in, loop out here, and we're using existing holes, I'm trying to minimize the amount of holes I physically make in this place, especially the fact that Hallie's just swept, is This is the end of it now. It's still continuous loop, and I will continue doing a continuous loop. Yep. Using the hole. So there's a pencil mark. So this is our M1. So this will poke through here, and the continue it is do a big loop down, pass it all the way back through, because we're going to land on this one with the pencil mark on the ceiling there. Staple it where we want, start pulling it back, which will be then this one. As you can see the pencil mark there on the ceiling. Same thing all the way around. One big continuous loop. That way, if anything gets lost, if we find one, we can find the other ones by either pulling it. We know it's been not, I'd like to say, to be fair, if I had the tester on me, I could do a continuity, an IR to make sure it's either connected or split depending on what we want. That's the sort of, yep. Oh my delicious Earthshore cable. Being used, not being paid for this job. What's that caught on? So we've got a bundle of feed and then switch cable out to the internal lights, and we've got literally a loop in, loop out, which is doubled over, which is this one, and that's labelled up as outside lights. That's then clipped up. We've got 4 cables all banded together with the Milwaukee stapler. Up, across. We've got our loops there, 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 and there. And then from the outside, see, I just bend that one up. Coming across, it's going to nicely light the outside. So that is it in here, finally. Was more than now, which I told me with Arthur it would be in my daughter, but that's fine. She's inside playing her iPad. Doesn't matter, no one cares. This is all done. I've just run around with my phone as well, so I video myself, if I haven't said before in previous videos or you're new to it, measurements of stuff. So this, all the stuff that's clipped down and hanging, the guy knows to leave it to pull it through exactly where it is. We have movement because of the sky disc, we can shift them around a bit by an inch or two, not an issue to make sure it's square. The soffit lights outside, all twisted and bunched up like you've seen. They're all getting pushed up. I've done measurements, so I go around, I video myself while talking about the job with my locational services turned on. So all I've got to do is go on my photos, go on the map, find the house I was working at, and all the pictures will be attached to this job. And I record myself going off what is currently here. So normally we would say when you dab it, it's off a solid brick wall, it's going to get dabbed 25 mil. We would obviously minus 25 mil off. I've done that all the way around with all the sockets, the heights, the switches, everything, and obviously finally as well, we've gone through with all this. We have got some excess of the SWA hanging outside. I've got about 3 foot's worth of slack. But what I'm going to do when the ball comes, like I said at the beginning of the video, cut a hole, pull the armoured out, gland the armoured into the bottom of a whisker box, and bush and couple the whisker box to the back of the fuse board so it can be played with afterwards, upgraded, or maintenance on it. We don't do. Anyway. Sorry, my head's been up my arse. I'm getting there. Just life, things, and friends. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you, bye. I don't know what that was.